The 7 morning fruits that are secretly destroying your masculine performance. Stop everything you're doing right now. If you're a man over 60, what I'm about to reveal could be the single most important thing you hear today. There's a silent killer sitting in your kitchen right now. Something you've been told is healthy. Something you probably ate this morning. Something that's systematically destroying your ability to perform as a man. I'm talking about the seemingly innocent fruits you're consuming at breakfast, and they're sabotaging your erections, your energy, and your confidence in ways you never imagined possible. My name is Dr. Marcus, and I've dedicated over 3 decades to helping men reclaim their sexual vitality naturally. What I'm about to share with you isn't just another health tip, it's a revelation that could transform your life. So grab a pen, clear your schedule, and prepare to discover the shocking truth about breakfast that the health industry doesn't want you to know. But before we dive in, I need you to do something for me. If you're serious about reclaiming your masculine power and want access to cutting-edge health strategies specifically designed for men over 60, hit that subscribe button right now and ring the notification bell. This channel is your gateway to the truth about men's health, and I promise you, you'll never get this information anywhere else. Also, if what I'm about to share resonates with you, if you recognize yourself in this struggle, drop a 1 in the comments. If you're skeptical, drop a 0 so I can understand how to serve you better. Your engagement helps me create content that truly makes a difference in men's lives. Now, let's get to the heart of the matter. Are you ready to discover what's really happening when you reach for that morning fruit? For decades, we've been programmed to believe that starting our day with fruit is the pinnacle of healthy living. We've been told it's natural, nutritious, and necessary. But what if I told you that this widely accepted wisdom is actually a carefully constructed myth that's been undermining your masculine vitality for years? The reality is far more complex and disturbing than you might imagine. Your body, after 60, operates fundamentally differently than it did in your younger years. Your metabolism has shifted, your hormone production has changed, and your insulin sensitivity has dramatically decreased. What once seemed harmless has now become a daily assault on your sexual function, energy levels, and overall masculine presence. This isn't about demonizing fruit entirely, it's about understanding timing, quantity, and the specific physiological impacts these foods have on your aging body. The 7 fruits I'm about to reveal have been flying under the radar, masquerading as healthy choices while systematically dismantling your ability to function at your peak. Fruit number 1, the overripe banana deception. Let's start with the most common offender sitting on kitchen counters across America, the overripe banana. This yellow devil has been marketed as the perfect breakfast food for generations. Quick, convenient, potassium-rich, and seemingly innocent. But here's what they don't tell you about bananas, especially those soft, spotted ones that seem so sweet and appealing. As bananas ripen, their sugar content doesn't just increase, it skyrockets. Those brown spots aren't just cosmetic changes, they're visual indicators of a fruit that's becoming increasingly concentrated with fast-acting sugars. When you consume an overripe banana first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, you're essentially mainlining sugar directly into your bloodstream. Here's where it gets dangerous for men over 60. Your body responds to this sugar assault by releasing a massive surge of insulin, your body's attempt to manage the crisis you've just created. But insulin doesn't just regulate blood sugar, it's a hormonal wrecking ball that sets off a cascade of devastating effects on your masculine function. First, insulin acts as a testosterone suppressant. As insulin levels spike, your body's natural testosterone production gets smothered. This isn't a temporary dip, it's a sustained suppression that can last for hours, affecting your energy, mood, and sexual desire throughout the day. Second, insulin triggers inflammation throughout your cardiovascular system, particularly in the delicate blood vessels that supply your penis. These vessels need to remain flexible and responsive to achieve and maintain strong erections. When they're inflamed and constricted due to insulin spikes, your ability to achieve peak performance is compromised. Third, insulin interferes with nitric oxide production, the key molecule responsible for vasodilation and healthy erections. Without adequate nitric oxide, your blood vessels can't dilate properly, leaving you struggling with weak, inconsistent erections that leave you feeling frustrated and defeated. The insidious nature of this damage is that it doesn't happen overnight. You don't eat a banana and immediately lose your erection. Instead, it's a slow, progressive deterioration that happens so gradually you might mistake it for normal aging. But it's not normal, and it's not inevitable. If you're a banana lover, I'm not asking you to eliminate them completely. Instead, never consume them on an empty stomach, especially first thing in the morning. If you must have a banana, pair it with protein or healthy fats later in the day to slow the sugar absorption. Better yet, choose firmer, less ripe bananas that contain more resistant starch and less sugar. Fruit. 3. The grape cluster trap. Moving on to our second culprit, grapes. These bite-sized sugar bombs have been fooling men for decades. They seem so innocent, so natural, so perfectly portioned by nature herself. But don't let their size fool you. Grapes are concentrated sugar vessels that can wreak havoc on your hormonal balance. Despite their small size, grapes contain an extraordinarily high concentration of natural sugars. Their high water content means they digest rapidly, sending their sugar payload directly into your bloodstream within minutes of consumption. When you grab a handful of grapes as a quick morning snack, you're essentially consuming liquid sugar in solid form. The rapid absorption of grape sugars triggers the same insulin response we discussed with bananas, but with an added twist. Grapes contain high levels of fructose, which bypasses normal glucose metabolism and heads straight to your liver. Your liver, especially as you age, becomes less efficient at processing these fructose loads. This can lead to fatty liver accumulation, which is directly linked to decreased testosterone production. The morning grape habit creates a vicious cycle. You eat grapes, your blood sugar spikes, insulin floods your system, your testosterone gets suppressed, and your vascular function becomes compromised. By mid-morning, you experience a sugar crash that leaves you reaching for more quick energy, perpetuating the cycle throughout the day. This pattern doesn't just affect your sexual function, it impacts your entire masculine presence. Your energy becomes inconsistent, your mood unstable, and your confidence wavers. You might find yourself feeling less assertive, less focused, and less capable of handling the challenges that come your way. The solution isn't to eliminate grapes entirely, but to consume them strategically. Save them for later in the day, preferably after a protein-rich meal when your blood sugar is already stabilized. This timing allows you to enjoy their benefits without paying the price in the bedroom. Fruit. 3. The orange juice catastrophe. Now we come to perhaps the most devastating breakfast tradition of all, orange juice. This liquid has been masquerading as a healthy breakfast staple for generations, but it's actually one of the most effective ways to destroy your masculine function while thinking you're doing something beneficial. Orange juice represents everything wrong with modern breakfast culture. It's been stripped of its fiber, concentrated into a sugar-dense liquid, and marketed as a vitamin-rich health food. But here's the shocking truth. A single glass of orange juice contains as much sugar as a can of soda, sometimes more. When you drink orange juice on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, you're delivering a massive sugar payload with zero buffering mechanisms. There's no protein, no fat, no fiber to slow the absorption. It hits your bloodstream like a sugar tsunami, causing your blood glucose to spike higher and faster than almost any other food you could consume. The insulin response to orange juice is so severe that it can suppress testosterone production for hours. Your blood vessels constrict, your nitric oxide production plummets, and your sexual function takes a direct hit. But the damage goes deeper than just immediate hormonal disruption. Regular orange juice consumption in the morning creates a pattern of blood sugar volatility that keeps your body in a constant state of hormonal chaos. Your pancreas works overtime to produce insulin, your adrenal glands become stressed from the constant sugar roller coaster, and your overall hormonal balance becomes increasingly unstable. The energy crash that follows your morning orange juice isn't just about feeling tired. It's about your body's desperate attempt to restore homeostasis after the sugar assault. This crash often leads to increased cravings for more quick energy, perpetuating the cycle throughout the day. If you love citrus flavors, eat a whole orange instead of drinking the juice. The fiber in the whole fruit slows sugar absorption. Better yet, start your morning with water and save any fruit consumption for later in the day when your body is better equipped to handle the sugar load. Fruit number 4, the watermelon paradox. Watermelon presents a fascinating paradox in the world of men's health. On one hand, it contains citrullinine, an amino acid that can support nitric oxide production and potentially benefit erectile function. On the other hand, when consumed incorrectly, it can undermine the very thing it's supposed to help. This contradiction has led many men to believe that watermelon is a superfood for sexual health. They consume large quantities, especially in the morning, thinking they're supporting their masculine function. But here's what they don't understand about watermelon's complex effects on the male body. Watermelon is more than 90% water, which sounds harmless enough. But the remaining 10% is concentrated with sugars that have a high glycemic impact. When you eat watermelon on an empty stomach, especially large quantities, you're flooding your system with rapidly absorbed sugars despite the high water content. The glycemic load of watermelon is particularly problematic for men over 60. Your body's ability to buffer sugar spikes has diminished with age, making you more susceptible to the insulin response that follows watermelon consumption. This insulin surge can quickly negate any potential benefits from the citrullinine content. Moreover, watermelon's high water content and rapid digestion mean it doesn't provide lasting satiety. You might feel temporarily full, but within an hour you're hungry again and likely to reach for more food. This pattern often leads to additional sugar consumption throughout the morning, compounding the hormonal disruption. The timing of watermelon consumption is crucial. Morning consumption on an empty stomach maximizes the negative effects while minimizing the potential benefits. The sugar hit occurs when your body is most vulnerable to insulin spikes, and the beneficial compounds get overshadowed by the metabolic chaos. If you enjoy watermelon, consume it strategically. Have small portions later in the day, preferably after a protein-rich meal when your blood sugar is stable. This timing allows you to potentially benefit from the citrullinine while minimizing the sugar impact. Fruit number 5, the mango deception. Mangoes represent one of the most deceptive fruits in the masculine health landscape. They're exotic, delicious, and seem like a healthy indulgence. But for men over 60, mangoes can be particularly devastating to hormonal balance and sexual function. The primary issue with mangoes is their extraordinarily high fructose content. Unlike glucose, which can be metabolized by every cell in your body, fructose must be processed exclusively by your liver. This creates a unique metabolic burden that becomes increasingly problematic as you age. Your liver's capacity to process fructose diminishes with age, especially if you've been consuming a typical Western diet for decades. When you eat a mango first thing in the morning, you're demanding that your liver process a massive fructose load while it's still working to complete its nighttime detoxification processes. This metabolic stress leads to several cascading problems. First, excess fructose gets converted to fat and stored in your liver, contributing to fatty liver disease. Fatty liver is directly linked to decreased testosterone production, creating a direct pathway from mango consumption to reduced masculine function. Second, the fructose metabolism process generates inflammatory byproducts that circulate throughout your body. These inflammatory compounds particularly target your cardiovascular system, including the delicate blood vessels responsible for erectile function. Chronic inflammation in these vessels leads to reduced responsiveness and weaker erections. Third, mangoes trigger the same insulin response as other high-sugar fruits, but with the added burden of fructose metabolism. This double hit to your metabolic system creates a perfect storm for hormonal disruption.
The natural progression of mango-induced metabolic stress often goes unnoticed until the damage is significant. You might experience gradual decreases in morning erections, reduced sexual desire, and general fatigue without connecting these symptoms to your fruit consumption. If mangoes are a favorite, treat them as an occasional dessert rather than a breakfast food. Consume small portions after lunch when your metabolism is most active and your blood sugar is already stabilized from previous meals.
Fruit 6. The pineapple illusion. Pineapple has long been associated with tropical vitality and digestive health. It's bright, flavorful, and seems to embody the essence of healthy living. But for men over 60, pineapple can be one of the most misleading fruits when it comes to supporting masculine function. The deception lies in pineapple's sugar content, which is staggeringly high despite its healthy reputation. A single cup of pineapple contains over 16 grams of sugar, with minimal fiber to slow absorption. When consumed in the morning on an empty stomach, this sugar load hits your system with devastating force. Pineapple's sugar composition is particularly problematic because it combines high fructose levels with rapid absorption. This creates an immediate spike in blood glucose, followed by the familiar insulin surge that suppresses testosterone and compromises vascular function. The age factor is crucial here. Your body's ability to buffer sugar spikes diminishes significantly after 60. What might have been easily manageable in your younger years now creates metabolic chaos that reverberates throughout your system for hours. The morning pineapple habit often develops because people associate it with energy and vitality. You eat pineapple, get a quick sugar rush, and feel temporarily energized. But this artificial energy is followed by a crash that leaves you feeling worse than before, creating a cycle of dependence on quick sugar fixes. The inflammatory response to pineapple sugar load is particularly damaging to the nitric oxide pathways essential for strong erections. As inflammation increases, nitric oxide production decreases, leading to reduced blood flow and weaker sexual performance. If you enjoy pineapple, consume it strategically. Small portions after lunch or dinner, when your body is better equipped to handle the sugar load, allow you to enjoy the flavor without compromising your masculine function. Fruit 7. The dried fruit disaster. Dried fruit represents perhaps the most insidious category of breakfast destroyers. Dates, raisins, dried apricots, and other dehydrated fruits have been marketed as healthy, natural snacks that provide concentrated nutrition. But the reality is far more alarming. When fruit is dried, the water content is removed, but the sugar content remains concentrated into a dense, rapidly absorbed form. What you're left with is essentially nature's candy, a concentrated sugar bomb that hits your system with tremendous force. The lack of water in dried fruit means there's no dilution effect to slow sugar absorption. When you eat a handful of dates or raisins first thing in the morning, you're consuming what amounts to pure sugar in a form that your body processes as rapidly as refined sugar. The concentrated nature of dried fruit makes it easy to overconsume. You might eat what seems like a small portion, but you're actually consuming the sugar equivalent of multiple whole fruits. This inadvertent overconsumption amplifies all the negative effects we've discussed. Dried fruit's impact on testosterone is particularly severe due to the concentrated fructose content. Your liver becomes overwhelmed trying to process the fructose load, leading to fatty liver accumulation and decreased hormone production. The morning consumption of dried fruit creates a blood sugar roller coaster that can destabilize your energy and mood for the entire day. The initial sugar high is followed by a crash that leaves you craving more quick energy, perpetuating a cycle of poor food choices. If you enjoy dried fruit, consume it very sparingly and only after substantial meals that include protein and healthy fats. Never eat dried fruit on an empty stomach, and certainly never make it a regular breakfast component. The path forward: reclaiming your masculine power. The information I've shared today might seem overwhelming, especially if several of these fruits have been breakfast staples for years. But remember, knowledge is power, and now you have the tools to make informed decisions about your health.
The good news is that your body is remarkably resilient. When you remove these sugar-spiking fruits from your morning routine, you'll likely notice improvements in energy, mood, and sexual function within days or weeks. Your body wants to function optimally. You just need to stop sabotaging it. Starting tomorrow morning, replace these problematic fruits with foods that support masculine function. Choose protein-rich options like eggs, Greek yogurt, or nuts. If you want fruit, select low-sugar berries in small quantities after you've eaten protein. Focus on foods that stabilize blood sugar rather than spiking it. Hydration is crucial. Start your day with water, not fruit juice. Your body needs hydration after hours of sleep, not a sugar assault. Proper hydration supports all the physiological processes necessary for optimal masculine function. Pay attention to how your body responds to these changes. You might notice stronger morning erections, more consistent energy throughout the day, and improved mood stability. These aren't just health improvements, they're signs that you're reclaiming your masculine vitality. Remember, this information represents just one piece of the puzzle. There are foods that can actively support testosterone production, enhance blood flow, and revitalize your sexual function. The key is making informed choices based on how your body actually responds to different foods. Your health, your vitality, and your masculine function are worth fighting for. You're not too old, you're not broken, and you're not powerless. You simply need the right information and the commitment to act on it. If this information has opened your eyes to the hidden dangers in your breakfast routine, I want you to take action right now. Hit that like button to let me know this content is helping you, and share this video with any man over 60 who needs to hear this truth. Drop a comment below letting me know which of these fruits surprised you the most, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss the cutting-edge health strategies I share exclusively with this community. Your journey to reclaiming your masculine power starts with the choices you make tomorrow morning. Choose wisely, and your body will thank you with the vitality and performance you deserve. Until next time, this is Dr. Marcus reminding you that your best years are still ahead of you.